What's up, guys? Grab that coffee out. This is the AMZ Secrets Show and your host, David Aladdin. I've built the show to jump past the basics and into the real Amazon core. I look to understand the person, their strategies, secrets, so that all of us can build better businesses together. Today's sponsor is AMZ Secrets VIP, which is the platform of secrets and strategies and tools, including the recently launched Product Hunter. AMZ Secrets guarantees at least a 2x in business revenue or your money back. And I've personally already 4x'd my business, and many others have too. Today, we've got a special guest on the show. His name is Brian Burt, who sells over 6 figures a month, as well as runs other businesses as well. Thanks for coming on the show, Brian. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, Dave, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's an honor. I've just recently started listening to your podcast, and it's like super high quality, dude. So
Thanks.
Nice to be on. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So it's a long, storied beginning, so I'll give you kind of the nutshell version.
Oh, we'll take the long story if you got one.
Oh, man. So I was born in a small village in eastern Ukraine. No,
Ooh.
Okay, so
What's your mom?
Basically, I started the entrepreneurial journey from birth. I call myself technically unemployable. I've had a few jobs, never able to keep them. So really, I was only relegated to one option, which is building my own businesses, which is a blessing and a curse, right? Because a lot of the times when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing it on your own, it can seem like an insurmountable mountain. And that's kind of what it was for me for the first, I'd say, 10 years in business. So I'm 35 now. I really got going as an entrepreneur when I was 19, but I started marketing online around 25, 26. So technically I've been an internet marketer for about 10 years. I have a background in paid advertising, a really strong background in search engine optimization or SEO, as well as info products. I actually got in through an MLM scheme, which lasted all of about a month, but I was happy to get in, and I was happy, to me, it just blew my mind that you could, and that was back in 2005, right? So it doesn't seem like that long ago, but that's hundreds of years ago in terms of, marketing, internet marketing years, right? It's like dog years.
Everything could change in 1 year. That's the thing with the internet.
Oh man, it changes in a month. But long story long here. I fast forward to about a year ago, and up to that point, I was only working in pay-per lead and SEO, and they were all services, or I was marketing essentially services. Up to that point, I had the agency out here in Chicago, 15 people, 2,500 square foot, really nice office. And I looked around, and most of us we were Skyping each other. I mean, I was 5 feet from my assistant or my CMO, and we were just Skyping to each other. And I said, this office is really cool, but clients never come in. Let's get the heck out of here. Let's all work from home. Let's communicate via Skype. And maybe, get together once a week just to have, weekly, we call them Mondays. So Monday morning meetings to where you set the schedule and you kind of, set the foundation for the success for the week. And it's been great since then. So we get more productivity out of our employees. I was able to actually reduce the size of my team down to 3, which I love that. If I could do it all on my own, I would, but I hard lesson learned. No man is an island. No man or woman is an island. You need people to help. And then about a year ago, I found Amazon. It was the first time I had transitioned from working in service-based marketing to physical products. And I had kind of secretly to my wife and friends always said, I will never get into e-commerce. I don't want to hold inventory. I don't want to be the guy dealing with the returns. I don't want to do any of that. That sounds like a nightmare. And then I heard about FBA, where they do, fulfillment by Amazon. They do all of that for you. So that was kind of a revelatory moment for me, where the eureka moment, right? The light bulb goes on. You go, dude, I'm going to do this. And I got obsessed, literally obsessed. I mean, anyone that knows me knows that if I find something I dig in. And I really did with Amazon. And so to this point, I've got, 3 brands on Amazon, doing about 150 a month and growing extremely rapidly. My goal as you know, some of your listeners may have heard me say on other podcasts, is $1 million a month, and I put that up publicly, somewhat as an accountability factor. And it's been really fun. So we've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I just got through a big launch for Sponsored Products Academy with Brian Johnson.
Cool.
That went very, very well. We closed the doors yesterday and took in, hundreds and hundreds of people into that course.
Very cool.
And yeah, it's just been a great ride, man. I'm really just trying to absorb as much as I can and get as many SKUs out there as possible.
Your background is actually, it's very similar to mine, except you kind of went all out with the 15 to 25 people in your agency. But I totally get it. I was actually trying to stay away from e-commerce completely, in the sense of physical products, just because of the inventory that you don't want to manage. But actually, like right when you get into this type of business, you can see like all the opportunities and the differences between doing services per client, because that gets very frustrating, especially if the client's very hard to work with, and usually you can't fully anticipate all the demands that they might have and scope creep and all that stuff.
Absolutely. So, I think one of my students who has subsequently turned into a partner in one of my businesses, she's phenomenal. And she calls clients another word for unreasonable boss.
Oh man, I'm telling you, like, because they hold the keys to like your business.
Right.
The second like a client project goes wrong, you can't just like, hey, we're not going to work with you anymore, because their reviews will start to be published online. Kind of learn that the hard way, and then you have to fix it by just doing a good job. And
I think that's true of just about anything nowadays, though, because, reviews, especially with Amazon, I know everyone listening can agree with that, but, it's just, we live in an age where transparency is so important. Being, a man of your word or a woman of your word is more than any time, any period in history. It's more integral to your success now than I think it has ever been. You mess up just a little bit and everybody knows about it. It's too easy to, it used to be word of mouth, right? You could tell your friends or your circle of influence, oh, don't go use that hardware store down the road. They're no good. They sold me a bad shovel, right? But now it's word of mouth, where if you publish something on the interwebs, right, everybody knows about it right away. And so keeping your reputation, pristine is super important, as well as, your products on Amazon. So on Amazon, we fight really hard to keep our product listings clean and avoid those negative reviews as well.
I've said in my previous podcasts that people with like an SEO and marketing background and a web services business, I believe they have like an inherent significant advantage coming into the Amazon thing, because they can do everything from A to Z. And it's not like A to Z. Was that A to Z file? That wasn't on purpose.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you can tweak your product photos on the fly whenever you need to. You create your product listings with SEO in mind. You don't even just list your product. You actually do it from a search engine probably perspective.
Right.
Just from the start, and you don't have to.
On a lot of my webinars, I agree. I think you do have a SEO out there and you're listening right now, and you want to jump in or you're in, you do have a very distinct advantage over a lot of the competition, because you understand what an algorithm is. You mentioned you have a background in SEO as well?
Yeah, I didn't offer specific SEO services just because, I felt like the search engines were just constantly changing, and that people expected like a top rank of page one, or position one, page one forever. And I felt that once they lost that position, they'd come back to me and start complaining. So I didn't want to.
It happens all the time.
Yeah,
it happens all the time, and that's a big part of why I don't do it any longer.
Yep.
But here's the thing. I've said this before. Amazon, the algorithm right now is a lot like the algorithm when I first jumped into search engine optimization with Google in 2005. And every move, I can't say 1-to-1, but 1 to 1.1 maybe, has been very similar to the growth that I saw inside of Google's algorithm. So Amazon's algorithm is very much, their A9 algorithm is very much reflective